Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks bringing you the daily Apple report for Friday, January 5th, 2024. Let's take a look at the chart, start with the big picture, work our way into the day itself. Just to recap, going back a half year or more, we are still in the midst of a long-term buy signal, believe it or not, above the mid 160s, 164.06 to 165.48, a set of channel structures that we settled above in May, then indicating this long-term rising channel top of 234.54. Initially a 3 to 5 month target, obviously didn't happen. I'm going to say now by some point in 24, on the way off of this support area a few months ago, we rallied to close above this meaningful descending channel top that this week is at 180.87. We missed this by a tick on Thursday and came off of it very modestly. So we are testing meaningful, I'm going to call it long-term support in the low 180s. 180.87 is on the daily chart 179.94. You can see that lower right here. And I can also throw in, I've reduced it to a minor point only for day trade purposes, but in the overall scheme of things, it is meaningful. This rising 2/3 speed line at 181.68. So you're buying the low 180s, upper 170s as a longer term, you could call it an investment because it could contain selling well into this year as a 3 to 5 week swing trade. I could point to the 197 handle, but I would rather, I'm going to get to that in just a moment. This image clarifies the sell signal that occurred. Gosh, it was like a week and a half ago, and that was considered a 3 to 5 week sell signal. So that happened very abruptly. Here we are. This is bottom picking territory, profit taking territory. If you happen to go short, that we were recommending actually 3 to 5 week swing traders go short about a week and a half ago when we settled below both this channel bottom and rising 1/3 speed line. And when you close below the rising 1/3 speed line, the rising 2/3 speed line, i.e. 181.68, becomes your next target. That was realized in about a week and several days. And so here we are. This is the area to go long, to reestablish a long position. And that could be, over the next, the timing is obviously impossible for all of this, but I'm just going to kind of go into the daily chart. Actually, I'm already at the daily chart. I'm hunting around. There's one level, 187.81. I do have 183.08 as a minor point. You can see here 183.43 is the low from the previous day. So yesterday's high was 183.08. That's important if we close above it. But for day trade purposes, I do think just closing the gap at 183.43 could be an area where at 183.43 Wednesday's low, we could top out on an intraday basis and fall back into the low 180s. I could say that if we close above 183.43, and you could also say above 183.08, I don't have a problem with that. Closing above either one of these 183 handle levels on Friday should yield 185.30 on Monday. 187.81 within several days. Ultimately, it really is 192.88 right now. This is a new descending 2/3 speed line. Now that we're testing long-term support, I consider 192.88 a realistic 2 to 3 week objective where we can top out on a weekly basis and as a meaningful upward continuation point as we move into February trade. So this kind of captures the 2 to 3 week time horizon right now. We do have little levels all the way up. 183.43 today. If we push through 183.43, we just might reach 185.30 intraday. I forget exactly what that is. We've got so many charts going, but it is a level that can contain session strength. If we close today above 185.30, 187.81 likely on Monday, where we can place a daily high, so forth and so on in stair-step fashion up to 192.88. So I do think at this point in time, you can, if you're a 2 to 3 week swing trader, you're acquiring a long position in this neighborhood that we're in right now, holding out for the 192.88 speed line. If you're more of a 2 to 3 month swing trader, and remember, this area is a long-term support zone. 179.94, 180.87 is long-term support. I've been mentioning that now for weeks, an area that you can go long as we move through the first quarter. I haven't committed to it yet, but I will show that there is, if you take a trend line off these lows and cast a parallel structure off the high, it puts you into the 205, 210 area. So I do think that off of this low 180s, upper 170s, we can round back up into the 205, 210 area and climbing over the next couple of months. 192.88 is a meaningful pivot point inside that wide zone. We can top out at 192.88 on a weekly basis and fall away into February. And if we close above 192.88, it clearly indicates that 205, 210 area channel top within another 2 to 3 to 5 weeks, where we could top out on a monthly basis, possibly on a quarterly basis. That is kind of the big picture. Now, if we do close today below 179.94, I'm just going to take you right back to this image here. And then I see a 3 to 5 week sell signal, bearish continuation back into the mid 160s, where yes, we can bottom out into the second quarter, through all of 24 and round back up yet again. But I don't expect to see the mid 160s unless we close today below 179.94. Until then, this is your bottom picking territory in reach of 192.88 over the next 2 to 3 weeks and the 210 area over the next couple of months. And by some point later 24, we just might continue higher to the 234.54 long-term channel top. But we are at a capitulation point right now, and we are just above it. And so just once again, a reminder that, holding above this, just upper 170s, low 180s, this is an area that can absorb selling pressures through February into Q2, and from here we can round back up as we move into February and into the second quarter. That's a big area we're at right now, and inversely, if we close below 179.94, I wouldn't suggest being long Apple into next week. I wouldn't suggest being long Apple into February trade, because I think by the end of February or sooner, we should fall back into that significant mid 160s long-term support. I think I'm just going to leave it at that for Friday's Apple. I'll be back Sunday afternoon with Mondays. Please click like, share, subscribe, and check out wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of that 5-day free trial. I'll be back Sunday afternoon with Monday's Apple report. You have a great weekend.